Chapter 4. Cultivation rapidly increases. As the headmaster of Lingbi Mountain, Changjun did not need to be responsible for anyone. He had some realization in his heart and said hello to Uncle Fu directly, saying that he needed to go into seclusion to practice, and any matters during this period would be dealt with after he came out. After explaining everything, Changjun went directly to the retreat room that had been built earlier. This secret room is close to the mountain's veins. Although it is not a spiritual vein, its spiritual power is far greater than other places. It is also set up in a very hidden place and not easily disturbed by the outside world. It is a top-secret retreat place. In order to break through as quickly as possible, Changjun took out all the low-grade spirit stones he had accumulated and directly set up a spirit gathering array. Sitting cross-legged in the center of the formation, a strong spiritual energy rushed towards him. Of course, the most important thing was the golden powder transformed from the leaves of the Nine Heavens Thunder God Vine. Changjun breathed it in and out, incorporating it into his flesh and blood, his magic power, and his foundation of Taoism. The surging spiritual energy wrapped in golden arcs of lightning continued to surge along the meridians. The spiritual power was like the flow of a stream, flowing rapidly along the opened-up meridian system. With the continuous operation of the small and large circulations, the meridians in Changjun's body connected through nodes, becoming more and more complex, gradually penetrating into the limbs and bones, and into the blood vessels, becoming clearer and more complex. Many hidden meridians were opened up with the surging spiritual energy, and under the illumination of the Changjun divine thunder that was constantly shining with golden light, they quickly flowed throughout the body. Changjun sat cross-legged on the cushion, his eyes slightly closed, breathing in and out through his mouth and nose. In his perception, deep inside his body, waves of breath-like thundering tides were rapidly forming, and the pressure was getting greater and greater. Driven by the aura of Changjun divine thunder, it continued to rise, one wave higher than the other, bringing with it a tremendous aura, and smashed down fiercely towards some kind of nothingness. In his mind, he kept visualizing the 9-story thunder tower, stacked layer by layer, with golden thunder flashing and radiating countless electric lights. Boom! Along with the first wave of thunder and fire, huge waves rose from the depths of my heart, bringing with them a raging storm and hitting me hard. For a moment, Changjun's eyelids couldn't help but tremble slightly, and the vibrating spiritual energy flowed along the meridians all over his body, hitting them violently. The various meridian checkpoints that had been broken through before also received another round of strengthening from the spiritual energy, which gradually penetrated and became more resilient. As the first wave of spiritual tide had not yet dissipated, as Changjun's mind raced, another round of rising firestorm, wrapped in vibrating golden lightning, rose up in his Dantian Qi. The surging spiritual power suddenly reached its highest point, and then surged down. Boom! Changjun's body shook again, and the terrible storm quickly covered his entire body, bringing with it shock waves that ravaged his limbs and bones. Layer after layer, wave after wave, crashing into each other, one after another. After experiencing a total of 8 layers of thunder and flame waves, it seemed as if it had reached the extreme. With the blessing of the constantly surging power of Changjun divine thunder, Changjun's body reached the best level of transformation. However, only the last round, when it reached its climax, was not always perfect. Even with 9 layers of huge waves, it was still a little lacking and it sank into depression again. Call. Changjun woke up from his retreat. Including the first 30 days, it took him more than 3 months in total to refine the vine leaves of the 9 sky thunder god vine that he brought back from the ancient Shanhaijing. All the golden dust was integrated into his flesh and blood, which was equivalent to him swallowing and refining the thunder essence of the entire vine leaf, but his realm was stuck at the peak of the 9th level of Qi training. There is always a lack of perfection and satisfaction, and it is impossible to advance to the final level of great perfection. A slight error can lead to a huge loss. Changjun knew that he had hit a bottleneck. Even if he had sufficient resources to support himself, his cultivation was not good enough and he could not master it perfectly. He would not be able to completely complete the 9th level of thunder and flame waves. Even with the help of the vine leaf of Changjun divine thunder, he still could not complete it. This is not because of the vine leaves. After all, they are the leaves of the innate spiritual roots. Any one of them is a rare treasure in this world. When the leaf was brought into the real world, it shrunk to only a few inches, which was completely different from the huge leaf that covered the sky that he had witnessed in the Thundercloud Valley. Changjun deeply suspected that the leaf was pulled into the real world by him, consumed a lot of its essence, and shrunk severely. But to find out whether it is as he guessed, he needs to read the Shanhaijing more often and test it more times. Changjun naturally felt a little regretful, but he was also satisfied. In just 3 months, his cultivation level advanced to the 9th level of Qi training. If this speed of advancement were to be spread, it would be enough to shock the world. This proves one thing, that the world in the classic of mountains and seas that he originally entered was indeed a primitive world. If it weren't for the blessing of his innate spiritual roots, it would be horrifying that a mere severely shrunken vine leaf could have allowed him to improve his cultivation to this extent. Thinking that he had an incarnation in the ancient world, which was actually a 9-sky thunder god vine that reached into the sky and had survived for who knows how many years, Changjun's heart was filled with excitement. If I could open the classic of mountains and seas and truly master the ancestor of this 9 heavens thunder god vine, I wonder how much more great fortune it would bring. Even if he tried to think about it, he couldn't help but feel overwhelmed. This is the way to ascend to immortality, and it is also his ladder to success. Changjun naturally didn't dare to tell anyone about this matter, but every time he thought about it, his blood boiled and he felt like he had found his goal. The bumpy road to cultivating immortals now has a new direction. Putting aside other things, if he could completely digest that piece of 9-sky thunder god vine leaf, complete the 9th wave of thunder and flame impact, and successfully raise the 9-fold wave of thunder and flame, then even if he could impact the foundation establishment stage, Changjun would be confident. Perhaps it was because Changjun's accumulation was not yet stable. Although his strength increased dramatically in the short term, he still could not fully support the 9th wave of thunder and flame superposition. Therefore, his realm only soared to the peak of the 9th level of Qi training, and then it came to an end completely. In Changjun's spiritual space, the 9-layered tower of thunder and flame condensed by the power of visualization was almost completed, almost intact, with only the aura of the last 9th floor remaining erratic and unable to finally merge into one. This is Changjun's bottleneck, seemingly invisible but tangible. If he could complete the last floor, then it would be time for Changjun to prepare to break through to the foundation building stage. Of course, Changjun couldn't be dissatisfied with his current gains. He was able to reach this level just by refining a leaf of the 9-sky thunder god vine. This was something he could never even imagine. The spiritual energy source contained in the prehistoric world is obviously far higher than that in the world of immortal cultivation. At the very least, it cannot be compared with the mere 3rd-level spiritual veins of the Zifu family, Yunlu and Shu family. This caused the original power erupting from the vine leaves to be extremely powerful, making it difficult for ordinary cultivators to withstand it. Especially the vines and leaves, which contain terrifying golden lightning energy, which are wisps of Changjun divine thunder. This Changjun divine thunder contains terrible destructive power. If it were to explode directly, it would be impossible for a Qi cultivating cultivator to absorb it. Even if it can be forcibly absorbed into the body, it will not only be useless but also extremely harmful. Others will never be able to absorb all the power contained in a vine leaf of the 9-sky thunder god vine as perfectly as Changjun.